countdown is finishing. Game number 6 between QXC and NightEnd. NightEnd needs one more to tie it up. QXC can take it here. Here we go. Alright guys, welcome back. This is going to be game number 6 in between spawning in at the bottom right hand location. The blue Protoss player NightEnd from Team Fnatic raid call his opponent in the upper left hand location of Ohana. It's the purple Terran player QXC from Team Complexity. QXC starting off ahead 3-0 against NightEnd, but NightEnd fighting back. Can he equalize it here, I promise? What do you think?
There's a strong possibility. He is on a 2-win streak right now.
Yeah, man.
I wouldn't be, I'm not going to count him out. I think he can do it, and I want him to. You know why exactly? Tell us why.
So we can go to an ace match, of course.
Congratulations, you're correct.
Dude, I can read your mind.
So yeah, NightEnd's going to win this game. I'm just going to say it, man. He's going to win this. It's going to be tied 3-3. We're going to go into game 7.
All right, let's talk about the games.
Let's go ahead and talk about this game.
Like, the games QXC lost, the first one he lost, I felt like he had a significant advantage. Again, he had 3-3. He just killed the entire Protoss army. And then some miss micro, some, you know, some perhaps non-optimal decision making. You know, let him lose that game. In the next game, going for the 2 racks play, said something about the map. Maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know. But, you know, he did choose Ohana. And what do you think about Ohana as a map in PvT?
I think it's a, you know, we talked about this before. We don't really know if it's a Terran map or if it's a Protoss map. It can honestly go either way. The 3rd expansion is very easy to take for both players. There's only destructible rocks separating the natural and the 3rd. And again, it's a large map, so any kind of early rushes aren't going to be so strong because it's a big map, obviously. But, you know, the map is designed sort of for a player to go ahead and take the 3rd. The 4th can be a little bit of a problem, deciding whether you want to take that right expansion or the left, which is sort of a positional base pushing towards your opponent's expansions. But it all comes down to the positioning of your units and the kind of style QXC goes for. I don't know if... Have you seen a lot of mech plays in TVP on this map?
I think mech and TVP general.
I know mech is not good. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of. I feel like it can be good on this map. I haven't seen enough PVTs on this map to have a solid decision on who it favors. I think it's generally balanced, though. Ultimately, as with most PVTs, it comes down to unit compositions. It is relatively easy to take a 3rd on this map. It is important to note, however, the 3rd is a pretty good distance away from your main, so drops can be fairly effective. That being said, though, there is a good amount of airspace, but not like it's not like an Antigua. It's not like a Shakuris in the amount of airspace. There's just enough where you can sneak in a drop here and there. There's a lot more airspace on the middle left-hand location, so drops at the 3rd can be very effective as a Terran player against a Protoss. But talking about this game a little bit and how it's proceeding. Both these players able to get their expansions up without too much trouble. No engineering bay blocks, no early zealot probe harassment from the Protoss player, at least yet. But QXC going for the gasless expand, and NightEnd saw exactly that this is what happened. And he put down an expansion of his own, only getting 1 gas this time though. Chrono boosting out a Stalker, trying to keep QXC honest in regards to having a bunker. And QXC did scout the Chrono boosted gateway, so he should realize that a Stalker is coming out pretty fast and should start his bunker fairly soon here.
Yeah, and this is NightEnd playing reactionary to QXC style. In the previous games, you saw there was bunkers in his natural, very quick marine aggression from QXC. Instead of getting a Stalker Sentry, he's actually opted to go for 2 Stalkers. Getting a 2nd gateway and a 3rd gateway is NightEnd. Gas is on its way, so he's going to be on 2 gas here in the main very shortly. Expansion's completed for NightEnd. Same exact thing for QXC. Expansion completed for him as well. And you know, 2 racks is here for QXC, so he might actually be able to put on a little bit of aggression. He does have a bunch of Marines patrolling here towards the left side. Very alert, scouting for any kind of proxy pylons that NightEnd might be haunting around. And it's a big map. You generally can see a lot of pylons around the map, whether it be for drop vision, whether it be for reinforcements for a timing attack. So QXC very much on top of this. At this point, NightEnd is going to throw down a robotics facility, and I can guarantee you... Actually, I'm not going to say I can guarantee you, but I'm almost 60% sure that we're going to see again Colossus here from NightEnd.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. QXC approaching the natural expansion of his opponent. There's only a sentry here, and QXC is going to target that down. NightEnd run. The sentry does survive that. On a force field the ramp. Why didn't he force field the ramp? Tell me why he didn't. Probe. Oh no, the SEV gets the sentry kill, and now there are 4 Marines going uncontested in the main base of NightEnd, forced to pull a lot of probes to deal with the sentry coming forward as well. Still no force fields going down from NightEnd, and these Marines actually doing so much damage here. 2 Stalkers cleaning up some of the Marines in the middle of the map from QXC, but this attack well worth it for him.
Yeah, I think at the same time there was a few Stalkers poking at the one of these expansions, taking out a few Marines, so QXC lost a little bit, but I think NightEnd might have lost more. Harvester advantage right now in the favor of QXC by 1. 36 SCBs to 35 probes. He did also add on a few barracks back home, getting a few add-ons, a few reactors as well as tech labs, adding the factory. Nice timing there from the factory from QXC. We'll have medevacs on the map rather soon. And QXC is getting 2 bunkers. Now, what do you think of this? Is he thinking there's going to be a timing push from NightEnd, or is this sort of like just to be safe?
I think it's generally to be safe. 2 Marauders and a couple of submarines coming out, taking some Stalkers off guard here. NightEnd has to be so careful not to use any units at this point in the game. Every unit's so important, especially those Stalkers and Sentries. Yeah, man, I think these 2 bunkers just for safety, just in case he feels scared. His Marines and Marauders are feeling the heat of this Ohana map and wanting to get in the air conditioning for a little bit. But right now, pretty even game, I think. 68 to 63 is the supply lead in favor of the Protoss player. And their tech is around the same. I mean, Colossi are on the way, sure, but QXC's starport is just about to finish, so it's not like he's going to be dramatically underprepared for Colossi at this point in the game. We'll have to see if he scans. We'll have to see exactly when he spots this Colossi production. In fact, he's already seen the robotics bank, so he pretty much knows that he pretty much knows the plans of NightEnd right now.
And look at how QXC is reacting to this. This is sort of like the game we saw. I think it was on ESV Cloud Kingdom. Yeah, it was on Cloud Kingdom. He just throws down a bunch of barracks. He sees Colossus.
Yeah.
He knows that it's going to come down from NightEnd. He's not even going to bother to take a third. And this is a great response. He's going to have a lot of Marines and Marauders and medevacs. Now, the question is he going to go Vikings? Or is he not, similar to the previous games?
Yeah.
He doesn't really favor early Vikings in TVP, more favors very, very heavy bio, Marine Marauders. And at this point, 93 supply for NightEnd, 92 for QXC. Second Colossus making its way here soon on the map. We are seeing it, thermal lands being upgraded. And QXC moving across the map with a lot of units. That's a lot of bio units from QXC. A few medevacs here also going to accompany these units. And is NightEnd prepared?
Well, the thing about this map, it's hard to engage at the natural expansion. If QXC tries to do that, he will die a slow and painful death. So I would expect him to load up a few units inside a couple medevacs that are about to join his army, and then send them behind the main, maybe send them behind the natural, and then he'll try to attack up the natural expansion ramp. But as it stands, you cannot engage at that choke of the ramp. The force fields and Colossus will just, quite frankly, decimate you.
Yeah, looks like a few force fields going to go down here from NightEnd. Stimming is going to be QXC, not really getting the bitter. No one actually gets the bitter engagement of that fight. But Forge and Double Forge here on the way for NightEnd. Additional upgrades going to get started with his weapons level 1 back home for QXC. You see additional Marines, a few more medevacs, also an armory. And who has the upgrade advantage at this point? It seems like QXC. Yeah, QXC has 1-0, and NightEnd's still on 0-0. He's going to be on 1-0 here very shortly. Actually going to be on 1-1, given the fact it does have this double forge. But there's actually a medevac drop with a bunch of units. NightEnd actually very much on top of it, bringing his units there immediately. And at the same time, a front attack by the units of QXC and NightEnd. NightEnd gets force fields, and he is defending really, really well.
Yeah, I mean, like we saw in the Metropolis game, he wasn't prepared at all for the drop, and here, completely prepared. There's plenty of Stalkers, a Zealot, Colossus there, and you can afford to do that on this map. You don't need to leave a lot at the front of your national expansion because, again, you can just force field that ramp, and all your problems are pretty much dealt with. So NightEnd playing this really well, splitting up his units very nicely, but behind this, again, QXC powering the Marines and Marauders, getting more and more out on the field, and I feel like if he can just keep NightEnd contained to 2 base for a long time while perhaps taking a third of his own, he'll be setting himself up nicely for the mid to late game.
Yeah, NightEnd sees no third from QXC, so he's telling himself he is not going to expand, which might be, which might actually catch him off guard. Yeah, he's just sticking to 2 bases. I think he's going to be on 6, maybe even 7 gateways here very shortly. QXC, as you said, man, he's just hammering out as many units as possible, mixing in the medevacs, which are going to be great here with his units. He does have a supply advantage still, 169 to 140 compared to NightEnd, and he's finally going to get some Vikings. You're going to see 2 Vikings make their way onto the map very soon, even going to load up a drop.
Yeah.
And NightEnd is ready, man. He has units in the exact
A lot of minivacs,
right.
though.
Yeah.
It's a hard decision to make.
I
Like,
don't think he's gonna
trying
do
to weigh how much damage, like, if you drop every... Because he can afford to trade some units here. Again, he's up 177 to 140, as long as they're cost-efficient trades. Like, if you can drop a few units and kill a Colossi, like, that's a good trade. If you can take down the main Nexus of your opponent, that's a good trade if you're losing just a medevac worth of units or something like that. But he saw the cannon, saw the units in his opponent's base, like, okay, no, I don't want to engage that. And look at this, NightEnd actually leaving his base. I don't like this decision. Get a backup immediately. 2 Stalkers are going to lose their life. But